Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Elise. I am a library assistant and getting my master's in English literature. And today I am going with a librarian to this high school where we are going to be discussing dual credit to students. So come along with me. I'm going to take you throughout my whole entire day, and you guys can see what it's like to be a library assistant who's going on a little trip outside of the library. I'm going to take my dogs out and finish getting ready. Okay, so I'm running a little late, but I'm getting in the car, gonna drive over to the high school and meet the librarian there so we can get started. So we just got done teaching a couple of classes. We did some bingo, we told them about the library, all the resources they could use, and now it is lunchtime and I'm super hungry, so I'm gonna go get some sandwiches and then head on back. So I just got done with classes for the day at the high school that I was helping the dual credit students at. And that was fun, but I gotta say, props to you teachers out there because I am exhausted. Teaching the same class over and over for a whole day is a lot of work. So you guys are amazing. So all in all, this trip was a really cool way to get to know the students in our community that are taking classes at MBC but are taking dual credit, and we got to tell them about the resources that we have for dual credit students at the library, which is quite a bit. We help them with creating resource pages for their essays. We help them with checking out books. They can check out books as dual credit students. So now that the day is over, I can kind of give y'all a recap of everything that we did. So we got there and there were so many students, way more than I expected there to be. And also the school was a lot bigger than how I expected it. Maybe it's just because I went to a small town, but my high school was not that big. That reminded me of a college, okay? Like, that reminded me of the schools that you see in movies, and you're like, that's not a high school. They're just doing that to, I don't know, seem cooler. Like, it's literally big yellow buses riding up to this college campus. Like, I swear that's a college, but no, this one was a high school. And yeah, there were literally big yellow buses riding up to this school that looked like a college to me. The outside was like this dark red brick. It looked literally like an old college campus. And things are a little bit different now than when I was in high school. We did have to come into school, but we didn't have to check in or anything. I think they added that after I left. It was like a student ID system where you had to use your student ID to get into the door, and then everyone else had to press a button in order to check in. That happened, I think, the year after I left high school. But before then, you could just walk right in. This high school implemented systems where you had to wear your student ID around your neck and then check in at the front and everything if you were a visitor. And then in order to be a visitor, you went through a huge background check. Honestly, I love that schools are going through this extra precaution for students. It sucks that we even have to do that. I wish we didn't have to do that, but at least teachers are doing everything they can with the limited amount of control that we have right now in the US. So anyway, so we go in there, they take me up to the library, they asked me if I knew where the library was. I said, no, I have no idea. Take me into the library, and they had a beautiful library. I loved their displays. Their displays were amazing. They had one for Hispanic Heritage Month, and it was beautiful. The red brick was all throughout the library. So pretty. They even had like a hot chocolate station and a place to get snacks. I wish I had that when I was in high school. We did not have that, and they had out right outside their library they had this spot that said Books and Cafe. It was like a little cute cafe. The Books and Cafe part had a bunch of hearts around it, and they could go there. There was a student sleeping there, which I was like, real. I feel that. I was so tired when I walked in, I couldn't stop yawning. The librarian asked if I was okay. Anyways, so then the first class comes in, and I thought it was one class. Turns out it was three. And I was like, that makes way more sense because that was a huge class. I was like, okay, is this what it looks like because this school is as big as a college campus? But no, it was because it was three classes. So we start off by letting them know about the resources that they have at the library, and we offered them slappy bands if they answered questions right, and the questions were super easy. It was just to help them retain information and participate. So we gave them either slappy bands, or we had the option of Sour Patch candy, and they could choose between the two. Surprisingly, a lot more people chose the slappy bands, and we quickly realized why, because they immediately started using the slappy bands to slap the pamphlets that we gave them and pull them across the table, and then they were slapping each other with them, using them as slingshots, and we were like, was this a mistake? Did we make a mistake by bringing slappy bands? But at the same time, they were paying attention, and that was cool, and they were engaging, and in fact, they were probably engaging way more because we had the slappy bands. First couple classes, you could tell people were really tired because hardly anyone was participating, and by the last class, we had given a couple students slappy bands. This was the biggest class. There were definitely three classes. It was over 50 students. It was crazy. And once a couple of them saw that we were giving out slappy bands, everyone started like volunteering to do random stuff so they could get a slappy band. And yeah, it was crazy. And it's been quite a few years since I was in high school. I've been in college for a while. I've learned what it's like to be independent of authority figures in terms of teachers always telling you where to go, what to do all the time. And yes, I just want to give a message out here to all high schoolers and just say it gets easier. I know things are super hard when you're in high school. You're forced to go somewhere all day long. You're supposed to spend 8 hours there listening to other people, doing what they tell you all the time, struggling in school. Maybe you have things outside of school that are taking your attention away. I know it is super hard, and I'm here to tell you it gets better. You know, when you get out of the house, you'll get some independence, and that is, there's many pros and cons to having independence. It is hard being an adult, but in a lot of ways, it's a lot better too. I did notice like some things that made my heart go out to these students, seeing like how shy some of them were. There was one girl who was playing with her hair while we were doing it, and my librarian had thought maybe she was raising her hand. She's like, "Oh, okay, were you playing with your hair, or were you raising your hand?" And she goes, "No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry." And then a bunch of girls started laughing at her, and she turned away and like kind of put her head down. And it's hard, man. It's hard being a teenager, and I'm so sorry that it is so hard. You don't have to feel embarrassed. You don't have to, like, don't worry about those people that laugh at you. None of it's gonna matter in a couple of years. Things are gonna get so much better. You're gonna really find yourself and come into your own, and you're gonna discover some really great things. So just don't give up. Just keep pushing forward. You're doing great by doing dual credit, and you are going to get into some great schools. You're going to make some great friends. You're going to really come into your own. So anyone who is a high school student out there right now, just keep pushing through. You got this, I promise. And as for you teachers, what y'all do on a day-to-day basis is so incredible. It was cool seeing that other side of it now, seeing how difficult it is to teach a class, teach repetitively, having to be on, for 8 hours a day, sometimes more. I definitely can see why this is a really hard job, and they're having trouble finding teachers right now. And I just want to say, all of you guys who maintain optimism and are there for your students every day, you are just so amazing. I feel like teachers do not get enough credit that they deserve. This was a really great experience, and I'm so glad that I work at a job that allowed me to experience this and to go out and do this. And I hope that I can do more things like this, gain more experience with teaching. Sorry guys, I had to move because it started pouring rain. But as I was saying, even though I'm wanting to teach at the college level, this was a good opportunity to learn about what it is like just to stand in front of a classroom, to public speak, and to be teaching consecutively all day long. So if you are someone who wants to become a professor or who is majoring in English and wants to teach English, someone who wants to teach K through 12, someone who wants to become a librarian even, someone who wants to teach dual credit, come along with me. Feel free to subscribe, comment if you have any questions, more questions about what this is like, what it's like to be a library assistant, what it's like to be someone who is pursuing a career in teaching. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye!